There's this enduring fascination, almost magnetic, isn't there, with iconic
Oh,
villains.
definitely the ones who really stick with you.
Exactly. Long after the credits roll, you finish the book. And, well, when you talk about those unforgettable ones, who immediately jumps out?
Has to be the Joker, right? He's just iconic.
He really is. You think you know him, Seen so many versions. But what if his real power, the truly unsettling part, is in the bits we can't quite pin down? The parts that just refuse an easy answer?
That's a fascinating angle.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a graphic novel that absolutely leans into that very mystery. It's a standalone from 2008 by Brian Azzarello and Lee Bermeo, simply called Joker.
Ah, yes, a powerful piece.
And this isn't just, a story that happens to have the Joker in it. It feels like it actively tries to inhabit the Joker's skin. It pulls you right down into this urban noir nightmare of Gotham's decay.
Bleak, but strangely beautiful, too, in its own way.
It really is. So our mission here, for you listening, is to unpack what makes this particular version of the Clown Prince of Crime just so impactful.
Yeah, and it's caused some debate. Some people have called it, maybe controversially, the best Joker-centric narrative ever put on paper.
Wow, high praise.
And the key reason for that, the thing that keeps coming up, is that it refuses to explain him. That's critical. So we'll dig into the narrative choices, the incredible visuals, and those really unsettling themes that make it stick with you.
Okay, so get ready. We're heading into a rain-soaked, neon-lit Gotham, but not as a hero.
No, not at all.
We're seeing it through the eyes of a pretty low-level henchman.
Yeah.
It's a look at chaos that's both deeply disturbing and, yeah, weirdly beautiful in its darkness.
Consider this your shortcut, maybe, to understanding a really pivotal moment in how this character's been portrayed and in comic book art itself.
Let's dive into those shadows. To really get the impact of this book, we absolutely have to start with how it's structured, the narrative architecture.
Yeah.
Because it's different.
Very different.
Instead of being in Batman's head, or even Joker's, the whole thing is first person, told by this guy, Johnny Frost.
Right, Johnny Frost.
And he's described as a low-level gunsel. Basically, a small-time crook, a driver.
Just trying to make a buck in Gotham's underworld.
Exactly. And when the Joker gets out of Arkham, Frost actually volunteers to be his chauffeur. So right away, this isn't a hero's journey.
No, it's a descent, a deep one.
Yeah, a plunge straight into madness.
And that's what makes Frost's role so interesting. He's not like an unreliable narrator deliberately misleading us,
Right.
nor is he some kind of moral compass pointing out right and wrong.
No easy guideposts.
The source material puts it perfectly.
Yeah.
He's simply a small man, desperate to feel big, and that makes him a perfect mirror for us, the readers.
A mirror. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, because it lets us see the Joker's world up close, feel its terror and its strange pull through this very human, very flawed lens.
And crucially, the story doesn't feel the need to explain the Joker through him.
Exactly. Joker just is, and we're just watching through Frost's eyes.
Yeah. And the plot itself, on the surface anyway, seems almost simple. Deceptively so.
Right. Joker wants his empire back. Standard stuff, almost.
So we see him staging these, escalating set pieces, robbing drug labs, shaking down strip clubs, rooftop executions.
Classic crime boss moves.
But you realize pretty quickly that those events, even though they're brutal, they aren't really the main thing driving the story.
No, the source says the real engine is atmosphere.
Yes,
Yeah.
that feeling of Gotham, the dread, the grime,
Yeah.
that's what pulls you along.
And that ties right into Azzarello's script. It's incredibly sparse, almost elliptical.
Doesn't waste words.
No, the dialogue is clipped, profane, sometimes darkly funny, like
Huh?
classic crime writing and exposition. It's rationed out. He trusts the visuals, Bermejo's art, to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Which it absolutely does.
And here's the really key thing. We never find out why Joker was released from Arkham. We don't know why he picks Frost specifically. We don't know his long-term plan.
Ambiguity.
Exactly. And that absence of backstory isn't a bug, it's a feature. That's the whole point.
Azzarello gets it.
He totally gets that the Joker's power, his myth, comes from refusing to be pinned down, refusing to be just another case file.
If you explain him too much,
You kill him. You dilute that mystery. That's what makes this take so potent.
that refusal to explain, that embracing the mystery,
Yeah,
it feeds right into how the Joker himself is characterized here.
absolutely.
You mentioned this isn't the giggling, gadget-obsessed trickster. from, say, the Silver Age comics back in the 50s or 60s.
Very different vibe.
And he's also not quite the nihilistic terrorist we saw in Christopher Nolan's movies.
No, though there are maybe some echoes.
Yeah.
But he's distinct.
So if we strip those familiar ideas away,
Mhm.
what's the core of this Joker? What defines him for you in this book?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? What emerges is, well, it's terrifying. He's like this blend. A charismatic sociopath who behaves like a crime boss, but thinks like a performance artist.
Performance artist.
Yeah, you see it in his actions. He'll do something incredibly brutal, like murder a rival with a broken pool cue, just raw violence.
Visceral.
But then right after, he'll pause and arrange the corpse's limbs into an obscene ballet posture. Like he's creating some twisted art piece and waiting for applause.
Killing. Just chills.
And even his laugh, it's not the big theatrical ha-ha.
The booming cackle.
No, it's described as a low, almost conversational chuckle. It's quieter, more intimate, more insidious, like he's just heard the universe whisper some awful joke only he gets.
Now, that quiet chuckle is almost scarier. It feels closer, like he's right there, sharing a secret with you.
Exactly. It draws you in, even as it rebels you.
And Frost, our narrator.
Yeah.
He really is our stand-in through all this. But, like you said, the book refuses to let us pity him.
No easy sympathy there.
Even as he's spiraling down, his own gradual moral corrosion becomes this really compelling secondary plot.
Yeah, it's almost as gripping as Joker's main story.
It's like watching that moth circle a blowtorch, you said.
Yeah.
You know it's going to end badly.
But you can't look away.
And Frost seems to convince himself that just being near this madness, this chaos, makes him important. Proximity to madness equals significance.
He thinks he's becoming someone, finally, but he's just getting burned.
And this whole descent, this moral decay, it's not just in the words, is it? This entire unsettling world, this psychological shift, it's absolutely visualized.
Oh, completely. The art is crucial.
Lee Bermejo's visuals. They are absolutely central to making this Joker work, wouldn't you say? What makes his art so pivotal?
Pivotal is the right word. I mean, the art is practically another character here. What's really striking is his style.
He's unique.
Every page feels painted, not just drawn and inked. It gives Gotham this incredible texture, like wet asphalt and bruised sky.
You can almost feel the grime.
Totally. And the close-ups on Joker's face, they're intense. You see everything. Pores, scar tissue, the cracked enamel of cheap clown makeup.
It makes him feel disturbingly real.
Yeah, and then you pull back, and the city itself is this landscape of, like, soot-stained Art Deco buildings.
Yeah.
And the colorist, Mick Gray, uses this limited palette.
The colors. Yeah.
Sickly greens, deep arterial reds, bruised purples. It makes even daylight scenes feel underlit, you know? Claustrophobic.
Creates this mood where, as the source says, beauty and rot coexist in every frame.
Exactly. That visual tension is constant, just pulls you into this really grimy, violent version of Gotham.
And Bermejo's genius isn't just in the big moments either. I mean, those are amazing, like the Joker calmly slicing his own tongue with a razor.
Yeah. Unforgettable image.
Or that climactic chase across a half-built skyscraper. It feels like something out of a Michael Mann movie. The staging is so precise.
Absolutely. High-octane stuff.
But he also completely nails the quiet moments. Little details.
And what?
Like seeing Frost's reflection fractured in the chrome bumper of Joker's purple Cadillac. Those little shattered images of himself.
Ah, yeah. Visual metaphor. Nice.
Or that one silent panel where Harley Quinn's smile just flickers and dies because the Joker doesn't look her way.
Oof. Yeah. That speaks volumes, doesn't it?
It really does. These tiny visual cues build so much of the psychological weight.
Couldn't agree more. The art and story are perfectly intertwined.
Okay, so we've got the unique narrative, the chilling Joker, the stunning visuals. But let's unpack this a bit more. Beneath the violence and the noir style, what are the big ideas Azzarello and Bermejo are really digging into here? What's the so what for us?
Right, looking deeper. I think one major theme that keeps popping up is identity as performance.
Identity as performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole story seems to suggest that in Gotham, identity is basically just a costume you can put on or take off.
But there's a price.
Oh, yeah, usually a bloody one. You see Frost, right? He puts on the sunglasses, the purple trench coat.
Trying to look the part.
Yeah, hoping charisma will osmose through fabric. He's performing confidence he doesn't have.
And Killer Croc.
Croc literally gets plastic surgery to look more reptilian. He's doubling down on his monstrous identity, performing it.
Wow.
And even Batman, who we only glimpse, really, The book suggests he wears the cape as much for himself as for the city. It's a performance for everyone, including him.
A psychological performance.
Exactly. But the paradox is the Joker. He's the one who refuses any stable identity. He's just pure chaos, no fixed persona.
So in this world of masks.
Unsettlingly, yeah. His refusal to perform a single identity makes him the most authentic figure in the whole damn story.
Wow. That's a really provocative thought. The idea that the agent of chaos is the most authentic one.
Mm-hmm.
But does that risk making everyone else seem, I don't know, trivial? Does it flatten things out too much, like some critics say, turning Gotham into just shades of gray?
That's a really fair question, and it gets right to the heart of it. It definitely presents a bleak picture, almost monochromatic, you could say.
Yeah.
But I don't think the goal is just to flatter things. It feels more like it's trying to deconstruct the usual hero narrative.
Tearing it down.
Sort of. It forces you to think, okay, in a city this broken, maybe the only real identity is the one you make up, or the one you refuse to make up, like Joker. And it highlights this with another key theme. Power as punchline.
Power as punchline. Okay, I like that phrase. What does power actually mean in this version of Gotham?
Well, it's definitely not presented as something noble or lasting. It's more like a joke whose punchline is always death.
Grim.
Very. Look at the other villains. Penguin starts out as this grotesque capitalist.
The big shot.
Yeah, but he ends up groveling for spare change, completely broken, powerless.
And Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Yeah.
Once this symbol of justice gone wrong, a failed reformer. Now, his coin flips decide parking violations.
That's humiliating.
It's a total reduction of his former self. His power became a joke. And even the big showdown, Joker versus Batman.
The climax.
It's not framed as this epic battle of good versus evil or ideologies clashing. It's presented more like two performers arguing over stage time.
Wow, cynical.
Deeply cynical. It strips away the heroic myth and just shows this raw struggle for dominance, for attention, in a city that's basically just a backdrop for their conflict.
Now, we can't really talk about Joker without hitting the violence head on.
No, you definitely can't.
The source material flat out says it's one of the most graphically violent mainstream comics ever published.
Yeah.
It doesn't shy away.
Not at all. The violence is brutal, it's relentless, but, and this is important, the argument is that the violence is never gratuitous.
Okay, how so?
It functions as a language. It's a language the Joker speaks fluently while everyone else is just sort of stammering along. It's how he communicates. It's a tool for him, part of his performance.
So it served the character and the story's themes.
That's the idea. And the overall moral feel of the book is just bleak. Unrelentingly so.
No silver linings here.
None.
Yeah.
No heroes, no redemptive arcs, no last-minute swerve toward grace, nothing like that.
And Frost's ending?
Devastating. His final realization, in just one caption, the joke was never on him. The joke was me.
Oof. Gut punch.
Totally. It just slams home the story's grim outlook. No comfort, no easy lessons, just that.
Yeah. Now, understandably, a book this dark, this raw, it's been divisive.
Oh, for sure.
You get those fair critiques. Some people argue it gets too close to edgelord nihilism, dark for the sake of being dark, maybe.
Yeah, provocative just to provoke.
Others feel that Noir Filter really does flatten Gotham's moral spectrum into pure monochrome, that it strips away some of that vibrant, almost operatic energy you get from Batman's villains usually.
And those are valid criticisms, definitely worth considering. But I think maybe they slightly missed the intent.
What do you think the intent was?
Well, Azzarello and Bermeo clearly set out to make a Joker story for adults, and adult fiction does not always come with comfort.
It wasn't meant to be easy reading.
Exactly. It was designed to challenge you, make you uncomfortable, make you think. It raises that question for any iconic character, really. Does every version have to have all the old familiar traits?
Or is there value in stripping things back?
Right. Is there value in a focused, mature reinterpretation that cuts away the familiar to show you something raw and maybe unsettlingly new? Joker really makes a strong case for that approach.
That's a really powerful point. So thinking about that, what's the lasting impact? What's the legacy of this specific Joker story, both in the Batman world and maybe for comics more broadly?
I think its legacy is actually pretty significant. It wasn't just another Batman comic. It felt like a statement.
Planting a flag.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't just pave the way, it kind of blazed it for similar adult-focused one-shots, like Luthor, which they did together too, or Sean Murphy's White Knight books.
Right, those more mature takes.
And crucially, it really pushed the industry, or maybe forced it, to see that DC's mature imprint, Vertigo back then, could handle Gotham stories with real psychological complexity.
Stuff that could stand up to serious fiction.
Exactly. It demanded to be taken seriously, not just as entertainment, but as art.
Yeah.
It showed you could explore these huge mainstream characters with real depth, and you weren't afraid to go to some genuinely dark places.
So wrapping things up, we've seen how Azzarello and Bermeo's Joker is this really singular thing. It blends urban noir, a deep character study, even existential horror.
All through that unique viewpoint and that just stunning artwork.
And it challenged how we see this classic villain by completely refusing to give us the easy answers, the neat origin story.
Right.
It just embraces the terrifying unknown about him.
And that refusal, like we've been saying, that's what makes reading it so profound. It's like that analogy from the source. Accepting a ride from a smiling stranger who keeps a straight razor in his sock.
You know it won't end well.
But the conversation is too hypnotic to abandon.
Yeah. It works as this gut-level crime thriller, but also as this deep dive into evil and this horror story about identity and power.
It doesn't explain the Joker, it just lets him exist in all his awful glory.
Yeah, lets you witness the chaos. And in doing that, it reminds us why the best villains, the ones that last, are often the ones who refuse to be solved. The mysteries. That really is the kicker, isn't it? This whole deep dive leaves you thinking.
Yeah.
The best villains are the ones who refuse to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
So the thought to leave you with is this. What other characters out there, in any story, any medium, get their power, their lasting impact, because they resist being explained, because they hold on to their mystery?
And maybe even, what does
Yeah.
our own fascination with these unexplained, sometimes terrifying forces, what does that say about us?
Yeah, that's definitely a question worth chewing on long after the last page is turned, or, last word fades.